Joining me now is Professor of Political Science at San Diego State, Mikhail Alexseev. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Do you have family or friends in Ukraine right now?
Oh yes, yes. The first thing I did this morning was to call one of my very best friends there because they fled Kiev since a missile hit the house near them maybe more than a week ago. So they're now in Western Ukraine, and last night that city was hit. Luckily, at least, it was an isolated strike. They were targeting the airport, and according to my friend, they missed. So at least there is some little comfort there. But the situation is just getting progressively worse. What looks like the Russian military are doing is they encountered a significant resistance from the Ukrainian military. They cannot defeat them as easily as they thought on the battlefield, and they're resorting to the power to hurt. So we've seen Mariupol with the maternity hospital bombed. And my other friend who is in Western Ukraine also, they fled Kiev. They have a lot of relatives in Mariupol. I talked to them last night. They said, they cannot reach, they haven't been able to reach anybody there since March 2nd.
Oh my
The
goodness.
city had been isolated, bombed, and he said his wife, whose relatives are there, she's really getting despondent. It's extremely heartbreaking time. My cousin is in Kiev. He had to basically break up his family because he has to take care of sick relatives. He cannot leave Kiev, but his wife and daughter left, and they made it to Moldova, the state to the west on the outside. But they, you leave, he's kind of happy on the one hand that they are out of harm's way, more or less, but they don't know if they will reunite.
Oh my gosh. That's something you really have to put yourself into their position, and to think about having to make that decision is just, what is he saying to you about how he's feeling about that decision?
Well, he said it's like impossible to describe it. He's torn apart.
Yeah.
Because half of him is very happy that they're safe, but then the other half is kind of numb because the Russian forces have been coming closer to Kiev from the west and from the east, and he's on the southern side, but that eastern advance is kind of edging closer to where they are.
Really putting a human impact to this is so important, because we're talking about the missiles, we're talking about the numbers of civilians fleeing, but these are people, these are families, and it helps to put that into perspective. How are you feeling, just having family and friends in Ukraine, and you're here?
I think I feel traumatized. I have to summon everything I have to just hold up. I've been having some restless, uneasy nights. You listen to the news, you visualize everything, you think of all the people there. And, from their standpoint, they are kind of already in sort of World War III. They see that huge conflict that tears them apart.
Now, can we briefly get into your background, because you are a political science professor? What is your perspective on everything that's happening?
Well, it is a very very important, very big development. If you look, I've looked at Putin's policy toward Ukraine since he pretty much became the Russian ruler in 2000. In many ways, it's been very consistent. He's been trying to ascertain control over Ukraine. And also, I think we need to kind of pay attention to what he said about the collapse of the Soviet Union being the greatest geopolitical tragedy of the 20th century. It's a stunning statement because the 20th century saw tragedies like World War I and World War II and the Stalin's Great Terror, etc. And yet, the fall of the evil empire is considered to be a tragedy. And it seems like very consistently and steadily Putin had been moving to restore under different guise that kind of empire. And now he feels he's strong enough to actually kind of reload the Cold War matrix, but this time win it.
Mikhail, Alexseev, we appreciate your time. Again, SDSU political science professor. We're sending you all of our thoughts and love and hope. During this time, it's like you said, it's indescribable for so many people, and it's hard for us to just watch because we kind of feel helpless.
Well, thank you for wearing that yellow earring.
I did.
With
I
dress.
actually.
It didn't escape me.
I appreciate you noticing that. I did do that on purpose. So. I'm sure that we will check back in with you.
And I asked my friend in the West, what would you wish people in San Diego? He said, health and victory.
There you go.
Health and victory.
There you go. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, and I'm sure that we will have you back on to chat again.
Thank you.